saw the Grim Reaper. It was scary.
Sister Wives, Season 19, Episode 5, First Impression. Giving it's Marley and Marley. Whoa! Yelled Laura! And you didn't answer, so I called 999. Anyway, I wonder what Truly saw. Anyway, first impression. Let's impression. Alrighty, so Mykelti is neutral in this situation, I guess, but you've got to remember that this was filmed a steady 2 years ago. Those interviews were probably about 6 months ago, and she just came out on her Patreon and said that for all intents and purposes, they're basically no contact with Kody and Robin. Now, this was spoken about because Kody came out to visit them to see the baby, which was guaranteed for the camera. They said, we never see my dad. This is a weird thing. And when he was there, he said, we'd love for you guys to come visit, but we're not willing to make room in our house for you because we are just full up. But you know what we will do? We'll buy a big old house, and you can come live with us because his kids moving to live near him has worked out historically every single time. And Mykelti and Tony are kind of like, no. Then we go into the whole Mykelti placenta moment, and honestly, I'm gonna gloss over that because there was it was just a weird vibe. Like, are you trying to prove something by taking a bite out of a raw placenta? I don't even know, and taking a picture. You do what you want to do, but what I am gonna tell you is that there is no scientific evidence that will prevent or help postpartum depression. What hurts to do both? So if you want to do that, totally cool. I'm not here to argue with you about that, okay? But what would hurt about also seeking a medical professional? Both can be okay because as someone who has gone through PPD, it can change like that to where you are no longer safe to be around anyone, including yourself and your baby. Oh, and I forgot to mention, Robin did it first. She was insufferable in this episode. I could not. Then they go into a conversation about how it's so normal in polygamous communities for them to all share babies to breastfeed. Here's the thing about that. It does happen sometimes, but typically between sister wives, there's a relationship that does not foster that kind of openness and whatever. And the only person saying that happens all the time in these communities is Robin. And Robin really didn't live this lifestyle very much. Her mom was basically kind of a mistress. So, grain of salt. Meri did have to do that for Janelle, but that was because Janelle didn't have enough milk and it was kind of out of necessity. Kids gotta eat. You know what I mean? But then Christine goes into her second date with David. David's sisters lived polygamy, so they were able to talk about that a little bit. And then my heart was so full when little Gabe popped on the screen, but it was heartbreaking what he said, so that kind of sucked.
He hit me up. It was strange because he was like, hey, I miss you. And then he was he kept phrasing it like I owed him an apology. And he's eventually I was just like, hey, unless you're actually ready to have a relationship and fix things, then we're not going to talk anymore. He came back a couple of days later and texted me. He's like, hey, I've been thinking about what you've been saying. I forgive you. Please forgive me.
You know what I hope is a side effect, and I know that this isn't going to happen because most people have the emotional intelligence of a walnut, is to stop looking at people and saying, well, that's still your father. Yeah, that's his father, and that's how his father treats him, so why would he call? How about you say that to the parents and treat the kids like crap instead of guilting the kids into staying in situations that are incredibly harmful and have been their entire lives? It's just a thought. So then Janelle goes into, we don't want to live in patriarchy. We don't want to do anything like that. There's obedience and loyalty and all of these words that he's using now that he's throwing at the kids, that he's throwing at me. What are you talking about? And he comes back.
Janelle is just dead wrong about me and patriarchy. I've never been patriarchal.
No,
I've never behaved patriarchal. No. I actually was just angry once when Christine was leaving, and I said, hey, we're going to do this patriarchy thing, but I've never been patriarchal.
Okay. What's a red pill guy? What is that? Is that a movement that's completely based in patriarchy with terms that you've used being within the manosphere? Or what about this?
I'm going to be the head of my household again, and so I'm not going to be circumvented in that. And so if everybody's willing to conform to patriarchy again, I guess.
Can someone go back and listen to that for me? Because I thought conform to patriarchy again. Can anyone? Is that what you like? In case you were wondering, I am a really annoying person to argue with. So then Gabe, whose emotional intelligence is amazing, said that he started therapy, which I think is amazing. He says, you know what, the whole family, I think we need to do that. I second. That is a very, very good idea. Then Gabe goes into the fact that his dad told him that he wishes he had never married any of the other women and only married Robin, which you tell Gabe that means you effectively wished that he didn't exist. Because if you had only married Robin, he wouldn't be a part of this world. What father says that? That is, what the hell? Then we go into Kody and Meri's church release.
I got a phone call from the church leader who said, we've given Meri a release. Mm-hmm. And he said a few other things that I don't want to necessarily disclose that sort of upset me.
NARC translator. They told him he was wrong.
They did say that it was on the grounds of abandonment. And I know he doesn't like that word because he doesn't feel like he abandoned me. I feel like he did.
In case you don't have like a weird fixation on these groups, that basically means that the church will not give him any more wives. No more wives will be ordained. You need at least 7 to keep your... So he's going to be going up there looking like a Ken doll dipped in white out for all of eternity, and he's not going to be in the highest level of the celestial kingdom because he simply does not have enough wives to do that. So his future plans are a little messed up. I'll see you part 2 this afternoon.